So about how to add integers, part 1. We're going to be using counters. So what are counters? Counters are using positive and negative coins. But before we do that, let's go over our do now. So on a map, Louisa placed her school at 0, 0. What is that vocabulary called? What is that called? Origin. And her home at -3, 4. Which quadrant is the point representing her home located? You know what? I'm going to draw a coordinate plane. Let's see. Coordinate plane. Oh, this is quadrant 1. This must be quadrant 2. This must be quadrant 3. This must be quadrant 4. So, -3, 4. What do I remember? X, Y. So, this is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. Where will you find -3 on the x-axis? Well, I know 0 here is the origin of home base, so it'll be right somewhere right here. 4. Where would you find on the vertical number line? Above or below? Above. So it'll be somewhere right here. So it must be in quadrant 2. All right, so yellow counters represents, so to add integers, yellow counters represent the positive integers, red counters represent the negative integers. A red counter cancels out a yellow counter to equal 0. This is called a zero pair. So for each addition sentence, draw counters to show the addition. Use plus for positive integers and negative for negative integers. Then solve the problem. So our first number, our first integer, again, what's an integer? Negative whole numbers, 0, and positive whole numbers. So it's -7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to put it together, plus means add. We're going to put it together with 6 positive integers. When you have a negative and a positive, think about it. You have a bad and a good. They cancel out. It becomes a and with atoms, electrons and protons. I think they become neutrons. If I'm not mistaken. I'm not a science person. So a negative and a positive, they cancel out. Think about bad versus good. Cancel out. So these two become zero pair. Zero pair. Zero pair. Zero pair. Zero pair. They zero out. Zero pair. Or we could just cancel it like that way. So what do you have left? -1. You have one more negative than positive. You have 4 negatives. You're going to put it together with 4 more negatives. Will anything cancel out here? Will a negative cancel out a negative? No. Is anything canceling out here? No. So nothing cancels. What do you have left remaining? -8. So you have 4 negatives and you put it together with 4 more negatives. Nothing cancels. There's no zero pairs here. So you have 8 negatives. All right, we have 1. We're going to put it together with 5 positives. Does anything, or do you see any zero pairs here? Do you see anything canceling out here? No. So it is +6, or can we just say 6? Next one, we have 4 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to put it together with 11 positives. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do you see any zero pairs? Zero pair, zero pair, zero pair, zero pair. So if you put 4 negatives, you have 4 negatives, and you put it together with 11 positive, you have +7 or 7 that remains. So we have 7 more positives. So you have 4 negatives, 11 positive. After canceling, there are 7 positives, or 7 more positives. Let's try next one. 7 plus -4. Any suggestion on what this could be? So we have 7 positive, 1, 2, so 7 positives, 5, 6, 7. And then we have 4 negatives. These become 0 pairs, 3 positive. Can you form a rule on this? On the next lesson, I hope you can form a rule of this. You have 5 positives. You have 8 negatives. Cancels out. 0 pairs. What do you have remaining? -3. You have 2 negative. So you have 3 more negatives than positive. You have 9 more negatives. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you have 4, stop. 2 negatives put together with 9 positives. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Put together with 4 more negatives. Do you see any 0 pairs? I see a 0 pair here, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, +3. So we have 3 more positives than negatives. And next one. You have 1 negative that is put together with 6 negatives. How many negatives do you have so far? 7 negatives. You're going to put it together with 8 positives. Let's think. Will I have more positive or more negative? I think I'm going to have more positives. But how many is the question? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I started with 1 negative. I put it together with 6 negative. And then I put it together with 8 positive. I see 7 pairs of 0 pairs. So 1 positive. Let's do it to number 9 now. Ooh, absolute value. Absolute value of -3. That means how far is -3 from 0? It is 3 units from it. So that's +3. And then parentheses 4 negatives. Before you say this, someone's going to say, isn't that absolute value there? No, those are parentheses. We use parentheses so it's easier to read. Because would you want to see a problem like this? -4 plus. Is that easy to read that to me? What do you see there? I see -4 plus -4. Or is it easier to denote it like this way? -4 plus -4. So we use parentheses to make the problem easier to read. This does not mean absolute value. So let's go back here. Absolute value of -3 is 3. I put it together with 4 negative. I see 3 pairs of 0 pair, -1. I see 3 negatives. I'm going to put it together with 2 negatives. And then I'm going to put it together with absolute value of -8. How far? What's the distance? This is always positive. How far is -8 from 0? 8 units. So this is really 8. Oh, 8 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what can you tell me? There are 5 pairs of 0 pairs. 5 0 pairs. +3. That's the answer. So let's use a word problem. Let's apply this now. Chip used counters and a mat to keep track of his score in a word game. He got 6 questions correct and 12 questions incorrect. What is Chip's final score? Well, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair. So he has 6 incorrect. So what did we learn today? What we learned is you have positive whole numbers, positive integers, and negative whole numbers, or negative integers. If you combine 1 positive with 1 negative, they become, it's called 0 pair. They cancel out. After you do that, after you model it, you will see what do you have remaining. So for example, I started with 6 positives, which is correct, and 12 incorrect, or negatives. through 0 pairs, what do you have left over? 6 negatives or 6 incorrect.